Fantastic Comics presents Show Me the Money. Earmuffs, please.
What can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family motto. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Let's look at
Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that? Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say it with meaning, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. Show me the money. Do you love this black man? I love this black man. Show me the money. I love black people. I love black people. Who's your motherfucker, Jerry? You my motherfucker. What you gonna do, Jerry? Show me the money. Congratulations, you're still my agent.
I mean, if you poke him enough, he'll move. Is he alive even?
Yeah.
Oh, he's pissed. He looked at
Funky Chinaman from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part. From a fainting to a slip, and a kicking from the hip, everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning.
Probably.
And just mix it into the vanilla?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just do that.
Did
And
you
then,
get the cheese fry?
Mini.
Yeah, the kids' meal.
So there was a cheese fry in the kids' meal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, ultimate fry sauce with that.
Yes.
Okay.
And a sloppy wiener. That is not a thing. He's such a jerk. I am so sorry. This is my son and he is a jerk. Sorry. Stupid. Are you positive that there's nothing?
It is not a thing.
Okay. Such a jerk.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hey, Etienne, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No.
You're a jerk.
I know that.
All
I've
right.
known this for a long time.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Just to start off, Fantinuum, suck it. Okay.
Hey,
Talking
Fantinuum.
about something being old. Let me get Jeff in the studio. Jeff.
Hey, I missed your fancy opening because my internet was fucked for a minute.
Yeah.
It's not the first 15 minutes or anything. No big deal. Hey,
Okay. It was on the video.
How's it going, man?
Everything was fine until it came close to showtime, and then Mike started downloading something on Xbox, and
There you
next
go.
thing you know,
Oh,
It's those downloads that make the robots.
Yeah, they do.
so
Couldn't-
it's paused.
couldn't-
We should be fine.
Couldn't have
Of course,
waited,
that
huh?
means he's not going to be like he's waiting. It's paused.
No, I mean, he should have been doing this download like hours ago. Like
Yeah,
a
really.
responsible downloader in this quarantine.
Who
That's
knows?
early morning.
Predicting the future and all that stuff.
That's right.
First world problems, right?
Well, would you like to see the opening again? I mean, since you didn't get to see it yet. No.
I can check it out.
It will be
Are we
out.
going to talk about it?
We're going to talk about an element of it. Kind of why.
Well, I mean, it'll be better actually for me to see it after, which it always is, because you explain the reason why you are what it's even supposed to mean. I don't ever understand it until after we've seen it.
It's like modern
so this
art.
might actually work.
Yeah.
The only thing that counted was the Jerry Maguire clip. I want everybody to know I've never seen Jerry Maguire in my life.
Nor I.
What? You have
What?
no idea how much the human head weighs then, probably.
Well, you know, I've heard it's about 10 pounds, but it didn't
it's
come
approximately 8 pounds.
Well, it didn't come from
according to that
Jerry
movie.
Maguire.
Really? Huh.
I got a fat head.
That's why we're happy.
I did see that movie. I used to be a big Cameron Crowe guy back when I was younger.
Who?
Yeah, Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
Say Anything? Was that what did he do that? No.
Fast Times.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah.
Fast Times. You should have known that. You should have known that.
I got Jeff Spicoli right up here.
I know that you do.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you should have known that.
Before I knew what weed was, that was my hero.
Yeah. With
And
no
then-
context, you just are like, this is my guy.
Yeah, oh man, there's some things in that movie. Those guys are hell. Let's see if there's anything going on in chat. So we already said hi to the people that were tailgating, as they call it. Corey, Coffee Junkie, Fantinuum, and now Jilby Pills here.
All right.
That's right.
Look out for that one. That's trouble.
Full house. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll see some other people later.
You know what we should do is we should try to always outnumber chat, just so we can yell them down. Yeah.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Can
You
anyway.
shut up.
I have to
Delete.
do this, you know?
Delete.
Or this.
I just
Now we're
don't
seeing-
look at it.
She's talking
I
about
can't
our
see it,
opening
so I don't care.
part to the show. She's talking about the prequel or whatever.
I think she might have been talking about the movie.
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think maybe
never
that
mind.
was it.
I mean, she might have been talking about both.
You know, the only thing I care about
Nailed
Aaron
it.
Carter is that last name. Just want to let you know.
What about Angela
Never
Carter?
heard of.
Yeah, like great last name.
Who's that?
A literary lady that died too young.
Yeah, like it's not being overrun now.
What the hell was that?
Speeding bullet. Pretty sure.
Speeding bullet.
Definitely a speeding bullet.
All right,
I heard
everybody.
a gunshot last night. Boom.
sorry.
First one since moving to New Mexico.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. And I
You
live
had a
in.
July
I thought
there.
that people just fire up into the air whenever they get
Nah.
too excited.
I know. I thought that's where I was going as
It's
well,
like-
and it turns out no, not at all. They're much more reserved.
Hot
with
damn,
their-
that's a tasty burger.
I think that's West Texas.
Okay. No, you're
Where were you from, ATM?
Central Texas,
Central.
where they're a little
That's
more
pretty
reserved
close.
with their ammunition, but not a lot. Not a lot.
That costs money.
It does. The bullets are
It does.
expensive sometimes, unless it's a real popular round. I mean,
There we go. People setting off fireworks. That's great.
bang bang.
Bang bang.
I don't
I like
like
fireworks. I do.
Yeah. Waste of money.
I feel bad for the dogs,
Interesting.
the babies that cry. Well, that affects me more. But the dogs, that's sad. The shaking and everything.
What is this thunder?
Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, gunshots suck also.
They're not pleasant, but I've heard of more than a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people love fireworks regardless. Doesn't
Bang,
matter
bang.
where you're from.
It's true.
I mean, everybody likes a great firecracker or a bottle
So-
rocket.
I watched a documentary last night on the fall of Angkor, the Khmer. Yeah, is that right? Khmer civilization? No, not the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer civilization.
Back from the
Yeah,
actual
like in the
Angkor Wat
12th.
days.
Yep, 12th, 13th century, that kind of stuff. And there was a Chinese diplomat or something that had visited there at their New Year's, and he described fireworks even there.
Yeah.
Long time ago. That's
Yeah.
stunning. kind of.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
pretty good.
Well, you know what I have to say about that.
No. Oh,
And-
glue.
That's right. Explosions. I can control. I've got new ones too, by the way.
You should use them appropriately.
Sometimes you're not sure if there's a good time to use it, and you just want to pull it out anyway.
Oh,
But
man.
I've got one
Out
that
of context, that's a good one, guys. Clip that shit right now
Yeah, go ahead.
for the diss videos that are to come.
And a sloppy wiener.
like that.
I didn't think that was a boy laughing. I thought it was a girl laughing at her mom,
Too.
but it was a boy laughing at his mom.
Oh well, kids, takes
Funny.
a while for them to drop.
To do that to your
Kids.
mom. Sloppy wiener. I'd like a sloppy wiener. I bet you would, lady. And her son did that to her.
Yeah,
Good one.
that was part of the video.
Got
That's
you,
a
mom.
little part of it.
Gotcha.
I mean, who hasn't teased our mom with a sloppy wiener? Come on. We've all been there.
go to the
You guys
grocery
on
store.
the East Coast and out in Texas.
What?
I
Oh,
don't know
you
about
didn't?
that.
You in California?
With my mom and
We're
my
nice to our
Wait,
mothers
what?
in California.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I also wouldn't say,
And a sloppy wiener.
You wouldn't? You wouldn't request a sloppy wiener at a
I would have
drive-thru?
never thought to do that. It's so
I'm sure if
funny.
you went to
No.
Sonic and you were like, I
Or-
want a sloppy wiener, they would give you one.
Or Wiener Schnitzel.
Yep. Or
That's a good
Casper's
one at-
before
at
they all
Wiener.
closed.
Wait.
There's
no,
still some.
There's still a Casper's open.
There's one, right?
We've been going there
They're good. I like
in
them.
Richmond. There's still at
Richmond.
least one
Ooh.
in Richmond. Yeah.
Is that in the annex? Because there used to be one by the across the street from the bowling alley. Like while
Right,
you're
that one just closed during the corona. Like they were already struggling, but
shit.
then the coronavirus was basically the nail in the coffin of that location.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Casper's an institution of selling
Hot dogs.
Wieners.
Sloppy wieners.
sloppy wieners.
Sloppy
Selling
wieners.
I
sloppy
like
wieners.
Casper's.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with Casper's. I want my hot dog cooked a little bit harder.
You mean like Top
Casper's.
Dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like a flame.
Yeah, give me
Top
a
Dog does that.
flame. I want a flame. If not a flame, then I want Top Dog will give you a. It's got
A
some
crust.
Yes.
I mean, it's charred on the outside to the point where it's hard, right? It's like seared on the outside. It's amazing. It tastes so good.
I like that.
They're delicious. They're
Got
delicious.
that snap. Got that snap to it.
And then it
You will
always
not
burns
get that
you.
from Casper's.
You know, it always burns
yeah.
you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get that
Ah.
boiling hot dog liquid inside.
Ow. Yes. Pleasant memories.
Mm.
Pleasant memories.
I'm sure
How-
Top Dog is still open today. I'm sure you could go get a Top Dog right now.
Right now. In fact, Fantinuum will right after the show, I'm sure.
Oh, he lives in downtown then, does he?
I can't speak for him.
Uh-huh. So there's another Top Dog over. I don't know if it's still there, but it was in the Ace. No, not Ace. Damn it. What is that place called? It's like a Walgreens, but not a Walgreens. It was massive over by CCA back in the day. I can't remember the name of the place. It was
Elephant Pharmacy. CVS.
No, it was before CVS took over. It doesn't matter. They had a really, really great like art section because it was right next to CCA.
Sure, yeah.
And they had a Top Dog inside. And it was
What?
open. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You walk in, you don't have to go in and buy art supplies. No, you could just get a hot dog
And huff paint at the same time.
and then go
Great.
huff paint.
Nah, they kept the paint behind lock and key.
I meant
Sure.
markers oh yeah, even those. Yeah.
Longs.
Longs.
Back when before Longs got bought out by CVS. There was a really amazing Longs there.
Corey says it was a giant Walgreens.
It was Longs before Walgreens. I don't think it was ever Walgreens. I
Do
don't
you
think so.
remember by any chance what half price used to be?
Cress?
Full price.
The full price. But
You got-
it was
knocked
a
it down. Sat on the
it
shelf
was
too
something.
long.
The building housed temporarily the Halloween store. In the
Wait,
years.
you're talking about Cress? The 5
Yeah.
and dime?
Mhm.
yeah. I forget what it was called. It was It's such a long time ago. I can't remember anymore. It's basically a 99-cent store. 2.99-cent
well,
store.
Crest was a. Let's be honest. It was Kmart. It was Kmart.
Kmart, huh?
Yeah,
Huh.
before Kmart.
I don't know. I only ever knew
So
Kmart.
it was like Woolworths. Though,
I learned
because they
the
had
history.
a lunch counter. They had a lunch counter.
I
Woolworth,
wonder.
yes.
Woolworths.
I mean, at Crest. My understanding is
Crest.
Those
I
were
remember
the days.
Woolworth.
Everything I know about Crest was told to me by old fuckers who would come in and wander around half price.
this used to be Crest.
You know,
Like,
Corey,
yeah, I read the plaque out front.
I don't
dumbass.
care.
APN's favorite thing to hear that he's right.
It doesn't
yeah.
hurt.
You can leave that one up. Leave that one up for
Leave
the
that
rest
one up
of the
for a
show.
while. Okay.
It feels good. It does.
It feels good.
Feels
Save
good,
that
guys.
one for
It
next
feels
week in
good.
case you need it again.
I might. I might. But we're taking a month off. So
That's something else, not this.
that's right.
Wait, what? A month?
Doesn't matter. I like to be right all the time.
That's well.
I work
yeah.
hard to be right. all
Taking
the
a
time.
month?
Don't worry.
Taking a
man.
month off for what?
He's talking about the sci-fi fantasy podcast or read-along podcast.
Yeah.
You can get it on most devices.
Stop, please.
I've heard.
It's also on YouTube, and I am a part of it with ATN and another guy named Phil.
None of that's true.
And we've been doing Gardens
And also
of the Mint.
Jill.
No.
Jill
is
works
also
with
a part
ATN
of
on stuff, yeah.
Also not true.
And
But I
we've
heard
been,
you also got a package.
oh yeah, that's right. But wait, what time is it? We have
I don't know.
about 10
9:17.
minutes before we should do the package.
8:17. 8:18.
So in about 10 minutes, ATN's going to show his package to everybody.
Yay!
So how did that get sent to you? Through the post office?
I can't figure out. I mean, I know it's got to be. Yeah, it came through the post office. It came through the
They're
post
essential still, as long as they still continue to
and
exist.
insolvent.
Yes.
That's
Well,
fine. It's a government agency. I expect them to be insolvent. It is dirty.
yeah,
Continuum.
especially when the government is giving like
Printing money.
basically giving money to their competitors as well. They're subsidizing their competitors. The government is good at.
competitors have been getting
You're talking about
all sorts
FedEx?
of things these
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
They get all
Well,
kinds of breaks.
Let me run through a couple of news bit items with you guys. I want you to,
Ooh, the news.
a couple things.
Where's the banner?
I don't have one for that. Let me see.
Oh yes.
Sorry, guys. Let me see if I have a banner.
No, I
for that.
love that.
You like that? Trips
I love
me
when we
out.
go into the fucking wormhole. Oh,
It is a wormhole.
How
It's
long
all
has it
right.
been?
Don't worry. We're 16. Well, we already that Jerry Maguire clip had it. I said earmuff, so you know what are you gonna do? By the way,
That's
hit
not
that
from
like
Jerry
button,
Maguire.
everybody.
Hold on.
If you can.
Hold on.
hold on. Where's
Did it?
is that the like button? Yeah.
Yes. Hit it again.
Yeah, it's great.
Real fast, like 5 times. Yep.
I don't have anything for that. How about
He
this?
really
one?
likes it.
I love it.
He likes it.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna share screen.
I love it, and I'm in love with it.
All right, really quick. I'm not gonna bore you guys. Look at that. San Diego 2020 Comic Con canceled. Finally.
This is the same as every other Comic Con for me, because I've never been to one or really considered going to one in any kind of serious way. So
When you say Comic Con, are you just talking about San Diego or New York?
yes,
or
I'm talking
everything?
about San Diego.
I see.
I've
Well,
been
when you
to
got
plenty
out
of
here,
comic
San
book
Diego.
conventions in my
Yeah.
day. I haven't been to any Comic Con TM.
When do you think?
Rory paid me to go 3 times.
That's dope. See,
It was
that's
awesome. It was
yeah.
awesome.
getting
All right.
paid to go, and also I enjoyed those trips as well.
Ah, that's
I
right.
enjoyed those trips.
You enjoyed one of those.
Because he
Mike-
brought stuff back with him.
Nah, I didn't
Hey,
do that
well,
either.
Nope.
I didn't do that either. That's also a
That's
rumor.
not how I remember it.
Bad decisions. Some very bad decisions. You
So,
know?
well, let me ask you guys a question. It doesn't matter what kind of convention it is. And
Yeah.
you guys in the chat, let me know also. It doesn't matter what kind of convention it is. When will it be okay for you in your heart to go to your favorite convention that you're looking forward to? Whether it's a
2023.
concert, a baseball game, whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll
Church.
go to a concert Church?
So-
I'm going straight to church right away.
Church.
As soon
The
as my
first
pastor gets out of prison for holding church.
I gotta clip that one. Now that's funny.
It's
There you go,
happened.
ATM.
It's happened.
Once an episode, regardless.
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
Where'd that happen?
I'm a broken Louisiana, Florida. I think both.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Broken
Yeah,
clock
yeah.
right twice a day,
No
right?
question.
You're right. So
So everybody's going to be
how-
flocking to Georgia to go to church because Georgia's
Oh.
opening up like in 3 days.
I
That's
watched.
my understanding.
I watched a really. Florida's already opened beaches in certain places.
Yeah,
This guy made a
Jacksonville's coming this
video
weekend.
of
I wish I
walking
could
down the
ask you
beach.
guys this question, but
Hmm?
you probably won't have an answer. Can college football live on SEC football alone?
That's like a foreign.
All right, there's one,
Probably yes.
good.
I would have to say yes.
All right,
given-
very good. Because I just can't see crowds of people going.
Dude. If
There
if
are
y-
though.
it-
There are already
Mhm.
crowds of people going back to
They're
places where
protesting.
not
if the
just that.
Seminoles played the Gators every week for 14 weeks, they could still make enough money. It would be fine.
Very good.
That shits would fill up.
All right, really quickly, I want to run through this for you guys. DC Comics. Oh, ignore this. My ad blocker's on. DC Comics has a new distributor lined up in Midtown Comics and DCBS. Not everything is known yet, except for the fact that almost every store owner is very upset, at least the vocal ones.
Aren't they always?
That's the joke.
Yeah.
It's like Brian Hibbs came out and like all during the day I was like having like conversations on different places, even on his thread on Facebook and stuff like that. And it was like, oh well, he's like doing mail order right now, so he doesn't come out with his statement until way later. And then it's like when the king has spoken, and everybody takes their
Oh.
cue from him.
I didn't.
But
he's
of
the
course,
king?
people were getting ramped up prior.
Hey, Fantinium has a pretty great comment. You should
Play it. Please ask me it.
It's the how fitting the distributor's name is DCBS.
Discount Comics Bookseller, I think is what they are.
I used to order
he
my
means
comics-
something else.
I used to order my comics from them back in the day when I didn't
Know that
wasn't
there were
able to-
stores.
when I wasn't able to
Oh.
go to stores.
Oh,
Or
so in your adult life.
yes. Or
Yes.
what yeah, of course in my adult life.
I mean, when I was a kid, I couldn't get to a comic book store.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the internet didn't exist. You either.
True.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very
It's a bummer. All right, so check this out.
Why is it a bummer?
Have you heard about Ruth Chris
Oh yeah.
and Shake Shack
Oh yeah.
and other things like hedge funds and stuff like that?
Now that's dirty.
wait, so are Shake Shack's giving their money back? They made
was going to get to
they
that
made
now.
a big announcement about it. Is Ruth Chris doing that too?
I do not believe so.
I doubt it.
And that's $10 million that Shake Shack got.
Well, the funny thing is that
I mean, that's 10 million people that could have got $1 million, right?
but like
I'm
the hilarious thing
joking.
was
I'm
they
joking.
the cutoff was any restaurant that had in like if they're chain like it could be any restaurant, any chain, whatever. Individual locations had to have less than 500 employees. Have you ever been to a restaurant that at one location had 500
No, I
employees?
don't.
That's
Don't
so
believe
every
so.
restaurant in America could apply.
So every
this
Ruth
money.
Chris did that?
So I'm sure I'm sure the corporate, I'm sure every corporate accounting, as soon as this was on the table, they were immediately applying. So of course they got the money first because they had the infrastructure to know about
Yeah, they could
it
push that
immediately,
paperwork through
apply
fast.
it immediately. So of course the little guy gets screwed.
And it's funny you should
Can't
say that
afford
because
So
you know
sorry.
what? I'm
Little
sorry,
guys-
what was that, ATM?
Little guys don't have people like employed to do this. Right. They don't have
Exactly.
lawyers
They
on
don't have somebody
retainer.
who's they got Shake Shack, Ruth's Chris probably has 15 people whose full-time job it is to
It's just
keep
an
an eye on.
IV straight from the government into the arm, right?
Have you heard about this?
I don't know, but she looks hot. Who is she?
She's just a
TM,
anchor.
that's not how we talk about women
Exactly.
these days.
This is how we talk about her. Just
Small business loan funds are tapped out, and they're talking about like all those big corporations got all the money.
It was a lot of money too.
It was.
$500 billion, 500 billion. Is that right?
I know Jeffrey was on the ball. Like he was immediately signing up for everything, whether it was city, state, federal. I'll talk about more in a second. Remember this from last week? The Spawn figure. It's almost 1.8 million right now. Oh, yeah, almost. So
these are a bunch of fucking work from home tech nerds who have nothing better to do than try to get a super articulated Spawn figure that they can bust on.
Well, there's going to be less of those people because Kickstarter is going to lay off 35% of their staff.
Whoops.
Maybe they should kickstart more money.
But the last thing that's comic book related in Kickstarter, Jimmy Palmiotti is going to do Pop Kill. Oh, look, there's nudity and guns. And you know how I love those.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least one of them.
Bang, bang.
It's got a Dave Johnson cover. There's all sorts of tiers. Most of them are digital until you get to like $20. But if you're a fan of this type of thing, and I know there is a lot of people in the store
Tears
that normally
of a
are.
Clown.
Tears of a Clown. And they've already made $31,000, but I don't know if I personally would go for any Kickstarter things. And then last but not least,
I have no interest in that.
I'm not going to show this spreadsheet because
a
Jill told me don't do this.
Let's put up another spreadsheet.
So all of that was basically saying that the Bink Foundation is going to probably pay out 38% of the money that they've received for all that creators for comics.
They're going to pay out
62 and the other 62,
38% of it to comic book stores.
They're going to pay it out to the bookstores that applied for the loan, or not a loan, for the charity, if you will. And I got my brother on it. As much as I was bitching about it, I did that. You know,
of course, you have to.
Well, I wasn't really bitching about it. I was just raising the question.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm just asking questions.
I'm just asking. I know. I totally felt like fucking Glenn Beck when I.
But it is a legitimate question because, like, when you look at how hard comic creators are going to promote this thing, and like how many people are like all in on this. Like, this is the thing, everyone is all in on this, and some of the numbers are pretty high, like for the, you know, for the better known artists. And it's like, yeah, it's a legitimate question to say how much of this money that comic book artists are self-generating with their promotion of their shit to their fans, how much of that is going to actually help comic book stores? That's a legitimate question. If there was a such thing as comics journalism, someone would be asking that question of them and getting an answer on it.
Yeah, there were a few, and most of what they did was they would look at the W990 or whatever it is, and they looked at last year's money that they doled out, and it basically came to like 38%. But you know, administration, lawyers, taxes.
You're saying 38% of the money got donated. Period.
Basically 38 cents on the dollar
was given to stores. That was the net gain to stores.
Yes.
The rest was absorbed by administrative costs, etc.
I would assume that's what it was without digging too deep.
I feel like they should have been, like, someone should have been there to hold their feet to the fire and say that, okay, but that 38% of everything that was raised with this hashtag on Twitter, because like the donations are coming in mostly by artists posting their shit with that hashtag, and then people are bidding on it in a social media feed, like in a comment thread, like whether it's on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. So like it would be easy to track how much money was coming from this comic, like Creators for Comics initiative, and then say we're going to give all of that money to comic book stores versus the rest of the money that we've been raising through other initiatives to other independent bookstores that are not comic book stores.
That sounds like a pain in the ass, if you ask me. I'm just like,
sounds like they're not necessary. It sounds like
you're 62% of the money that. Yeah, it's definitely an unnecessary middleman.
Jim Lee was raising a lot of money, but it's going to another organization that doles out the money.
Right.
Whereas Rob Liefeld, he's like, all right, I got $4,000. That money's going to this store, or whatever the hell it is.
Really, that's probably the best way to do it. Because
probably, but Rob's
money
been in
goes.
trouble with taxes before, so it was probably not the best way to do it.
It's fine, man. It's just a gift. It's just a gift.
Yeah. So, ATN, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I've got a knife.
Hey, everybody. We're going to see what's in ATN's box.
Yeah. So here's the story. We do this thing on YouTube and on podcast stuff, whatever. And it's popular with this particular person whose name is Tyler L. And Tyler, he wanted to support us, but we don't have a Patreon and we don't sell merch. So he was like undaunted, unthwarted by this fact. So he tracked me down on Instagram, and I'm not real sure how, but he did. And he was like, hey, how would you like me to give you a box of books? Because I used to work at a bookstore and I don't want them anymore. And you could sell them, and that way I could support your podcast. And I was like, I love surprises. And he was like, even right now? And I'm like, yeah, even now. And so he sent me a box, and it is right here.
Okay. Are you going to glove up and mask up before?
No, I'm not going to do that because
now.
as I've told some other people in the past, I want to get COVID to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you told all of these people last week.
I don't remember who I tell bullshit to. Do you know what I'm saying? I just spew
I
out
am assuming
bullshit.
we don't have any new viewers, but that could be.
We have
hey,
11 in
I could
chat.
be wrong.
Everybody that's here, say hey.
Hey.
Maybe give your best wishes to ATN, who's opening up a bomb.
Good luck.
Obviously.
It's Pandora's box.
No, it's ATN's box.
So there goes that and that. And so, I see some Robert E. Howard on the front right here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Got some
nice.
Conan
Cool.
with the good Frazetta covers. Some more. Got some Fritz Lieber.
I heard it was Liber.
It is. I'm pretty sure he's German descent. Really nice copy of Blood of Amber by Roger Zelazny from the Amber series.
That's also a game.
I've heard
Amber,
It's a
diceless role play.
role-playing
More
game, exactly.
Zelazny, some more Howard. More Howard.
Wow,
I like
these are
this.
great.
Hold on a second. Got to
Easy
make some
sale.
room.
Easy sales for ATN.
Night of
Paperback
Shadows.
Goldmine, by the way.
Let's-
Follow him on
More
Instagram.
Liber. Fritz Leiber. And then
Lieber.
more Zelazny. And this, I like these particularly. They got these Ron
Those are the
Wolotsky
good ones.
covers. Are
Yeah,
beautiful.
Like those
These are
covers.
nice too. And if you can get Lord of Light in this print run, super, super nice.
Oh man, I got a Lord of Light hardcover.
Shut up. Get out of here.
It's a book club, but it's
Oh.
so good looking.
Yeah, no, it's a nice book. It's a nice book. And some David Eddings, which I will admit I have never read.
Oh, I've tried.
Which ones are those?
Those are King of the Murgos and Guardians of the West, which I think are in the
Oh,
same
cool. Yeah, they're
series.
both in the same series. Yep.
Book 1 and 2 of the I'm not going to try to say that. Little more
These
Zelazny.
The Maloriad?
Little more Zelazny. And one final David Eddings. Also, book
Pretty
3.
good box.
Nice.
Malorian.
The
Malorian series.
Malorian, yeah.
So 1, 2, and 3 in the Malorian series. It might be a full run of
That's
Amber.
I think that's the second series, I believe.
Okay. And then some more packing material. Tyler L. I know your last name. Thank you. Thank you for the box of books. This is awesome. I'm going to have a really good time with these.
All right. ATN's box. That's cool.
Well, I mean, that's really
I like
cool.
fantasy.
Revealed for the world to see. Fantasy box.
I think it was cool, man.
Agreed.
Jill would like you to rub that shit on your face.
There you go. There it is.
Good enough for you, Jill? I'm coming to your house this week. I'll be right there.
Wait, what? You're traveling?
No. They're opening Texas back up, and I may go.
They're opening up the border wall.
Uh-huh.
I want to say hi to Pool, who's in the chat.
Hey, Pool.
Hey, Pool.
Hey, Pool. Hey, Pool.
All
Put my
right.
knife away.
Hey, Pool. Don't
I'm
go
gonna
off
put
that
that knife
deep end.
away.
Yeah, I did.
The guy who sent him the box wants something in return. What
He's
would you put in
getting
that box?
He's getting stuff in return.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
getting our podcast for free, just like everybody else is.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
That's why he gave us the books. He wanted to support us. He thinks that what we're doing is great.
All
He
right,
was
I'm
the
gonna-
guy that said Dujek one hitter, by the way.
Oh, here you go then.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you can show him this part because
Dujek
I'm going to.
one
since
hitter.
Yesterday was 420.
Yes,
but
it was.
this whole month is 420. And I was gonna on my Yule Carter show show off my comic books that were of a 420 numbering.
Oh, yeah. Did
Yeah.
you do that?
No, I didn't.
No.
Oh.
So today, here we go.
Bumsky. Wait, you're doing it now?
Yeah. So here is my Action Comics 420. And you can see this guy's kind of magicking up a genius
yeah.
Superman.
He's
got some
puff something.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's like they knew. It's like they knew this day was going to happen.
They knew.
Next up, I have Batman 420. Nothing pot related, but Mike Zeck is an awesome illustrator, and I love his chin and his faces are great. It's cool. Jim Starlin wrote it too, and Etienne and I did a review of The Price not too long ago.
And Aparo interiors, right? That's good.
Yeah, well,
Isn't that
he's
what
classic without a doubt.
Yeah.
This is the best 420. Well, one of the best. Okay. So you got Captain America against the Blazing Skull.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
sweet.
Blazing Skull.
And I put these all in Mylar so that they'll always be okay.
That's pretty smart.
Here's Detective Comics. This was a 52 big pages, don't take less for only 25 cents issue of 420. It also has Batgirl, and I love Batgirl back then, or at least that style, and some other crap I wouldn't care about. All right, here's a good one. This is a funeral AIDS awareness issue of Hulk, issue 420, obviously. It is Peter David writing, of course, and I think Gary Frank is the illustrator inside. And the Hulk decides not to try and save his friend's life because, he can maybe give him like Hulk serum, Hulk plasma. He doesn't do that. It's not right. All right, which will tie into the last book here. Amazing Spider-Man 420. I couldn't tell you much about it, but I think Steve Scroce was involved. He is on the cover, at least. This isn't the greatest Steve Scroce, but he was the artist of X-Men for a while. He is really great. He did the storyboards for The Matrix, and he also has a book called Doc Frankenstein, which is excellent. And last but not least, we have X-Men 420. This is unfortunately written by Chuck Austin with art by Kia Asamiya, who is a manga illustrator. And I was super high for the fact, I was super high, but I was super high for the fact that this dude was going to be coming over and doing manga, or a manga style in X-Men. And they didn't pull punches when it came to it. This is also a time when the Angel developed the ability to bleed on somebody and heal them. How about this? Did you ever hear of AIDS?
Chuck Austin has since been redeemed, of course, by his
bullshit.
association as a story editor and a story consultant on Steven Universe, the cartoon, which is amazing. And the first couple seasons,
And She-Ra.
can't deny it. And
They
She-Ra
don't-
too. Does he
they
work
don't-
on that
Yeah,
too?
they don't let
I'm
you
telling
know.
you, man.
They were like, oh yeah, all these women are working on She-Ra. And there's Chuck Austin behind, probably slaving away. Pretty funny. She-Ra. Yeah, Chuck Austin. He kind of did the Jeff Loeb. He did a whole animation thing.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, there was nothing in his comic book writing career that would have ever made me think that he might be involved in something that I respected.
Hey man, you can take a talent that you possess and apply it to something else and actually be better in that than you are over here, maybe, you know? So
Yeah, totally. And
it can
sometimes
happen.
it's best if you're working to support someone else's vision and not like trying to put your ideas front and center.
Well,
Maybe
you know,
I don't know.
There's definitely you have seen where left to their own devices, a person goes over to Image and doesn't really do that well.
Sure.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be Image, but you know, that's what people think about these days. There have been other times when that's happened also. Like Mike Grell, he did really good doing Star Slayer. He also did Sable, John Sable. And those did pretty well, but also he went and did an Image book in the 90s and nobody gave a crap about that.
Yep, no, that's true.
I liked it, but you know, I'm a sucker. Anyhow, Jeff is gonna share his screen. You want me to do that now?
Oh yeah, do it. Go ahead. That's
Wait,
this
let me,
is my
get a
this is
banner
my
up.
420. No, happy
Oh, this is a 420.
Happy
Okay, cool.
420 is the appropriate, because you know we just passed it, but
Oh, I like that. All right,
it's coming
All
back
right.
around again.
Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, all month is 420.
That
Also.
too.
I love that. My favorite time. And I'm all stuck inside hotboxing. It's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I mean, you have an outside.
You do have a yard.
I
You have
walk
an
the dog
outside.
also.
I have an outside too. It's nice. I can go outside and smoke in my patio. It's nice. I don't have to be constantly cooped up. I can walk around on the little. It's not good enough for the cat. He does not find that to be comparable to being outside. But for me, the difference between being inside and being on the patio is significant.
Your cat's territory is supposed to be, you know, at least a couple of square blocks.
Yeah, I know.
Or whatever he or she can handle, right?
Except exactly, he cannot handle that because whenever we like give him the run of the like open the front door, like go ahead.
Yeah.
If there's like one person in the courtyard out front, he immediately bolts back inside.
It's
And
not
if, like,
safe. It's not safe.
if he goes out and there's like there's a car, he's like ah! He'll just hide under a car, under a house, or anything. He's like typical,
The world is a
stereotypical
scary
fraidy
place.
cat. He's
Yeah,
a fraidy
it's a
cat.
scary place, man.
I heard the world's a vampire.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I have not heard that.
It's a good song. It's a real
I
good
refuse to hear that. I have muted that.
Excuse me.
song. All right. Well, that was my knife. Sorry.
What about it?
It fell.
Oh.
So, Jeff, you were going to share some concepts as far as comic books are concerned?
Some concepts. Yeah. I mean, I was going to talk about some comics that I read.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
And see if you have any thoughts about them.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Hold on a sec.
He's going to share a screen, everybody.
Eventually. I got to first
Eventually.
find my...
All right,
Oh,
we're gonna
wow.
all get- Are
It's
you
a
still there?
triple. It's a
We're gonna
triple.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I have. I'll get my animation.
This
Hold
is
on
how
a
we
second.
should always do the show. It's amazing.
No, people don't like that.
I like it.
Yeah, but people like
Boom.
Corey
People.
wants to see your face.
Who are
you
these
know?
people?
They can't.
Three people.
At the end
Hey
of the
everybody,
show,
Sequential Geek, Fantinuum.
this is just how it is now.
Maximo. Would you normally rather see our faces, or would you?
And don't tell the truth or lie. Just don't
do-
answer.
Exactly.
I think we should do the show like this, and only at the end we give a brief bye, and then we're out. That'd be so much fun.
That's right. That's right. You buy what you are. Look, you obey. They live, man. You buy and you obey and you reproduce and all that other stuff.
You should have a show like this, but your Patreons get to see our faces, but everybody else doesn't.
Huh. I wonder if that's even
That's
possible.
a bad idea. Okay, so do not take that seriously. That was a bad idea.
Okay. Well, you know what?
So
The
we'll
thing
do
at
this
face value.
slowly, one
Okay.
at a time. Sorry.
Let's see. I don't know what that looks like. Let me
Is
just
that
check.
man writing a? What is that?
Who
thing?
did that cover?
That's Trad Moore.
How does that look, people? Does that look okay, everybody?
I'm not coming back if you guys aren't coming back.
No, don't come
Oh,
back.
but you're
This is good because
talking.
it doesn't take away from it.
That's right. Pay attention to Trad Moore, not me.
Trad
Yay.
Moore, he did what?
Luther Strange.
Luther Strode.
Luther Strode. That's correct. Most famously and most completely. But
No,
most recently,
Silver Surfer Black.
Silver Surfer Black. Oh yeah, but I mean, he did far more issues of Luther Strode. He did 5 or 6 issue series of it.
Yeah, he did
right?
3 6-issue arcs, so like 18 issues.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
not. I mean,
yeah.
they came out far apart, and then he did all those New World issues actually. So like, I feel like if he has a lead time, he can put out 5 or 6 issues. I don't know. I don't
In
know
a
what
year.
to say about
Yeah.
that, but he's awesome. I don't care.
I dig
That
it.
fucking Silver Surfer Black is just amazing, especially those huge pages that it got collected in.
So
Anyway,
is that horse
That
a
was a
rooster?
magazine.
That's what's that?
That was a magazine.
No, it just got when it got collected, they published it in the like big treasury size.
Uh-huh.
So like the same size as those
It's a hooster or a rorse.
yeah, agreed.
There you go. Look at
It's a
those
rooster
other
horse.
animals.
This is a book about magic, man. This is a book about a guy who is a wizard, whose name is Wizord, and he is from another dimension, and he gets sent to our dimension by his evil boss, and he's sent here to basically take over this world. But once he gets here, he accidentally does some heroic shit, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to stay here and be a hero. These people will love me. They don't know that I used to be a dick, an evil dick back in the other world. But, you know, things like that have a way of catching up with you. So that's basically what the book is about.
Blackmail, right?
Well, I mean, the guy in the other world who used to be his boss starts sending people to find out what the fuck happened.
You were supposed
And
to
why?
deliver my crazy magic cocaine. There's no magic cocaine, is there?
How adult is this book?
Fairly adult, yeah. It's humorous. It's like absurd. It's very it's a comedy book. It's a action comedy.
What
Do you
if
have
I
any
am
interior-
very
It's a
religious?
fantasy action comedy. If you're very religious,
Yeah.
why are you reading comic books? They're
Oh,
the
come on now.
They're the devil's pamphlets.
All right, how about this? Let's say I've been religious in the past and could sometimes be insulted by it.
Oh, then my question would have to be, why am I talking to you? How did this conversation even get started?
I don't know. I was just thinking. It says curse words and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I know. It's
Darn it.
I'm just having a larf.
Charles Soule is the writer.
Do we have any
and
interior?
like he writes some. I didn't get
It's
any
okay. I'll
interior
get something.
from the actual artist of the actual book. No, I didn't bother with that. I should have. But the all of the that's the other thing is, I mean, I didn't read every single issue. I didn't buy every single issue. I'm sure there are some issues that I bought that I didn't read in my recent reread of my issues because I either already got rid of them or put them in a box that I haven't gotten to yet. But what I read is really good. I really enjoyed it. It's super fun.
When is it from? 2017?
Yeah, I think that's when it started. 16,
Okay.
17, something like that. Every issue that I read was art by Ryan Brown, which I always like, and which is usually means that it's not a DC or Marvel comic. Anytime you have an entire series that's all drawn by the same artist, it usually means that that's a creator-owned book. Oh, there you go. Ryan
Wow.
Brown. That's issue 1. It's good. It's a little cartoony, which totally fits because,
Didn't
like,
Punisher or something, Ryan Brown? Or
I don't
maybe
know.
Thanos? Something with Donny Cates, maybe?
I don't remember.
Has it been collected?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. There's a number of these. We carry them. Granted, we can't have every single one anymore. So we'll usually have the beginning more than the later ones, at least going forward.
Yeah, but you
But we
can
do
just
order for
say,
people.
hey, I liked the first volume. Can I get some more? And they will happily order it for
That's
you.
right. I will when we're open. When is that going to be, Jeff? Did you hear by any chance? When we might be opening as far as like stores when we're allowed to?
Nope, I have not.
I heard the 15th, but we're in that coalition. So if anything goes wrong in Oregon or Washington or LA or San Diego,
right,
we're all left in the A.
Right.
Which I appreciate.
And I think Berkeley can supersede the county, but not the state.
Yeah. No, and we're all part of this thing. I mean, well, I don't remember voting for that. I'm sure Fantinium has something to say about that.
Well, he
This
didn't
is
vote
pretty
for
good
COVID
artwork,
either.
though. I like it.
Yo, yeah, it's really good.
Clean.
And it fits the tone of the book, which is like it's got some surprising moments of like sincerity, but for the most part it's pretty loosey-goosey and fun and fantastic. And like one of the guys is like a hog tor, which is like a pig centaur where he's a human top half and his bottom is a giant pig. He's a wizard. Like, the wizards are all pretty wild. One of the like Wizord's ex-girlfriend transforms into a giant cardinal. Like she's a bird, werebird.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, it's very cool. It's fun. I feel like maybe I like Charles Souffle better when he's being funny, which is not like always. Like he's not always. Like his Daredevil run was not like super fun.
No.
I mean, it was good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it, but it was kind of grim and low key and gritty and street level and not like this
Not
is
low
very
key
much
like Thor's brother. Low key.
correct. I don't think Loki appeared.
I'm sure he could have, though. He's very popular at that time.
Sure. But yeah, this book is like the opposite of his Daredevil run because it's all crazy colors and magic and action and funny stuff. And his sidekick is a talking koala in the beginning, and then she gets transformed into a talking platypus. It's all
There's
very
dragons.
yes.
On the cover.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's him
All right.
running away from it. Once he comes to our world, there's no more dragons. It's
Right.
But anyway, yeah. It's very good. I enjoy it. Ryan Brown is
Reminiscent
good.
of Sandman Slim. What do you think about that?
I don't know what
This
that
comic
means.
sounds a bit reminiscent to Sandman Slim. Have you
I
read
don't
those
know.
books?
Nope. Care to
Sandman
elaborate?
Slim was like, well, I'm reading the comment. So
Yeah,
I've never really read Sandman Slim. I just know it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it.
Because you haven't read it.
No, I don't know how to say it on air.
Mm.
I read a book called Pink Toes by Chester Himes.
Yeah.
And this is just maybe a little bit more like grungier than that. Yeah. So there you go. That's the best I could do.
Okay, I get
Although
that.
maybe I've got the wrong person. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Iceberg
Because
Slim?
I don't. Oh, that's.
Okay.
That is what I was thinking. What do you think about my my description of it?
I mean, I knew what you were talking about, so there's that at least.
I'm taking my face off now. Anyhow, a hard wiener. There you go. Oh, Thunderbolts. I know about Thunderbolts.
Do you?
I know that Thunderbolts originally was a book by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley, and we were following this superhero team that we didn't really know who they were, and what they really were bad guys masquerading as good guys. And
Under the auspices of Baron Zemo, right? Like he brought them
his like
together.
son, I think, right?
Well, yeah, sure.
Right,
The
not the
new
original.
Baron.
Yeah.
Baron Zemo too.
Exactly. Kind of with a heart of gold, I guess. Ultimately, anyway, we got new.
No,
people.
I thought the whole thing was that he was not like he was. His attempt was to really be bad, right? And then they eventually ended up being good, and then so they ditched his ass and turned
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
I think that's how it seems based on the fact that all of those other characters, not all of them, but several of those other characters, the ones who are still around by the time we get years later to this Jeff Parker era of Thunderbolts, they are legitimately good. The ones who are still left over. They're like completely reformed criminals who are like, Baron Zemo brought us together, but we ditched his ass or whatever they did. They,
So Sequential Geek says Thunderbolts never got me. Just seemed like BS.
I never read a single issue of Thunderbolts until Warren Ellis.
Me too.
I never read any of that Kurt Busiek stuff that you're talking about.
No, me either. Well, the thing is like, I personally am not a big fan of following villains too much in a superhero book.
Never have been.
Yeah, so this is they're basically like Suicide Squad here in Thunderbolts now, right? If I remember correctly.
Very much so, because they have nanites inside them that allow them to be killed by the government agency that's controlling them at any given time. Nanites,
man, they can do anything. They can fix you or
do anything.
Kill you, and build buildings in your spleen. Anyhow,
but immediately after Warren Ellis, Thunderbolts,
he was on for a while, right? He did that whole Speedball becoming Penance, and it was all very emo. He was an emo superhero villain thing. Whatever.
He sure was. Yeah. Penance. Yeah.
He would spikes would come out of him, and he'd be hurt because he
spikes
deserved
would come
it.
out. Yeah, that's the only way he was a cutter. The only way he could use his power of speedballing around or whatever it was if he could hurt himself. Like, what's the difference between nanites and a shock collar, though? Or like a exploding, this collar will blow up if you don't do what we said. Like,
that's right.
There's a bomb implanted in your head. Wasn't that what the Suicide Squad had?
Dude, I remember that in Running Man. That was the greatest.
Yes. Yeah.
He had the collar or something. Running Man. I love that movie. Anyway, Thunderbolt. Oh, so this is Jeff Parker writing.
So yeah, after Warren Ellis, Jeff Parker took over, and I can't speak with any kind of authority on that transition because I didn't read all the way to the end of Warren Ellis, and I didn't start at the beginning of Jeff Parker.
Yeah, me too.
I hopped in later on after I
think it was Declan Shalvey was doing the art. And
Kev Walker.
I remember
Kev Walker
Kev
was
Walker
first.
Yeah.
Kev Walker was first. He was that was probably like what issue? Can you see the actual what?
That's 130 something. So God, there was a lot of Thunderbolt
it was like,
issues.
There was a lot that he did. I mean,
yeah.
Let's see. Here's another one. But like he took over and he wrote it for a long time, I think.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Boom.
Because this is 169.
Man. Really?
And that was after this is like, by this point, the team had mostly changed. Like he did a lot. Like it was great because it seemed like a book that nobody cared about. Like it was on the very fringes of all continuity, where it was like D-list characters.
Yeah, D-list villains.
Right, D-list villains, totally, from all different walks of life. And then like he brings in Man-Thing.
Man-Thing was teleporting them, right?
Yeah, and living in their basement.
Oh,
and like that's why Satana gets recruited was to deal with Man-Thing because they have a mystical simpatico.
Who's this barbarian girl? I remember her. She was pretty awesome too.
She was early on in the Parker run. I think that was like right after Siege. Remember when Asgard was in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Well,
that was during the JMS years.
She was a Asgardian who was like a feral. She was raised by trolls. Asgardian, and she was in Oklahoma with a bunch of trolls after the siege.
Do you mean
situation.
internet trolls?
Nope.
Yeah. Internet trolls from Asgard. They're the worst.
Just checking.
They are.
They're cannibal. They were eating human beings and stuff. So they all got locked up, and like because it was Earth law enforcement that was dealing with this shit, she ended up getting locked up in the raft. And so when a bunch of Thunderbolts escaped from the raft,
let me interrupt you for a sec for Kid Ronin 1, who says they dragged that series through the mud and it used to be so good with Busick. I can't speak on Busick, but I got to go with Jeff on this. These Parker issues are very underrated. And like he said, they flew so low under the radar, they could do more things than you'd be allowed to in a normal Marvel comic book. And you just have to be willing to go along with it. But the artwork is so good from a number of people that work on it. Yeah.
For the most of the run, it's Kev Walker or Declan Shalvey. That's
good.
Pretty
Declan
good.
Shalvey too.
Right. Back when he used to take his time.
He was hungry. Well, and not only that, but I felt like, nobody knew who this guy was really. And you looked at him like, God, this guy's different. Like he's really got something going for him. And he's done some stuff that's really good, but I think this is like some of his best stuff.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And I think it's some of Kev Walker's best stuff. He was doing like a much more extreme cartoony style than what he's been doing more recently. Which is still good. I still like Kev Walker. But I definitely think this Thunderbolt stuff is some of his best stuff. And it's like, who even knows? I never knew who any of these characters were before this book. This is like Ghost. I mean, Ghost was probably the biggest name of this whole. But then there was like a dude, Centurious. Who is Centurious? No one's ever heard of him.
The Ghost was
He was an Iron Man villain, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and Parker really played up the concept that the Ghost didn't ever want to like be in air, like share our air,
right?
And it was in basically like this still suit that allowed, and it was a her too, right? I forget. I can't remember. Anyway, it allowed them proper usage of it. I don't remember. I just don't know Iron Man villains that much. And it's like always in the suit, and like everybody's like, oh, you know, you got to be stinking and horrified. You know, only comes out like once a month, you know, type thing, or maybe even longer. I can't remember.
Yeah, and they're kind
like
of
very paranoid
character. Like, yeah, very weird, very weirdo. But they're all weirdos. That's the other thing. Is like Satana's a weirdo, and she's like a super slut, and she like wants to, and she like is obsessed with Man-Thing, and his mystical destiny or whatever.
It's
everyone's very weird. Too. Everyone's very weird. And then, if you want to share this other thing, they changed at issue 175
so they could keep
in order to, I guess, take advantage of the popularity of the Avengers. Change the title to Dark Avengers, and then like they added in. This is like that clone Thor. This is Scar, son of Hulk. I don't know who this is. I don't know.
I don't know if I kept on going at that time. I know I read a little bit of it, but I was kind of like in one of those situations where I was just stacking them and just waiting to read them.
Oh yeah, I just read a ton of them. I don't have all of them. But you know, the beauty of comics like these is you don't need to read every issue. It doesn't matter. These are like comics that are written the way these, I don't know. So Jeff Parker knows how to write comic books in an old style, but still good to me. Like a lot of times, you know, these kind of comics that are giving you exposition in a certain way, or catching you up on the action of previous things in a certain way, or just doing too much saying of what's going on. I don't know. He can incorporate some of those elements without it seeming old and stupid, for lack of a better description. That's what I find.
During this time,
he can take a stupid idea, like a team of D-list villains that I'm like, that's a terrible, I have no interest in that, and make it good. He can take a stupid idea like Red She-Hulk and make it good somehow.
That was during the time when all that Hulk and War of the Hulk type stuff was going on, and Hulk had like number of titles, and one was being written by Greg Pak, and the other one was, I think it was him.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And the other one was Jeff Parker.
The Red Hulk.
Parker did the Hulk that Jeff Loeb had started with McGinnis.
That's right, Red Hulk,
and
baby.
Parker
Gabriel
was
Hardman.
dealing with Hardman as an artist, and Parker at that time, I was like, Declan Shalvey is like going to be a future artist to really pay attention to. I really thought Parker was also, but he's saddled with all these DC property crossover crap.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it pays the bills, but it's so.
It feels like it's the same thing. It's like he's given this slop, and then he can make the best of it.
There's only so much I can read. That's the problem. And a DC crossover with, Huckleberry Hound.
His Red Hulk. That was just called Hulk, but Hulk, that was so good.
That was
that run was really good, and then it turned into Red She-Hulk, which was also really good. And that happened. That picked up a bunch of elements from Jonathan Hickman's Shield, which made it even more appealing to me, because all of a sudden here's Red She-Hulk driving around with Nikola Tesla, and I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's good times,
cool
and
stuff.
I highly recommend this Thunderbolts run.
Right.
Jeff Parker's whole run is really great. Someday, maybe I'll talk about his Agents of Atlas run, which is also amazing.
I gotta. Ooh, you know what? We should do a video on that.
Yeah,
because I mean, I just keep seeing.
I have it all
these
in
old
trades.
comics. Yeah,
I have it all in trades.
I have the trades and I have the issues also,
Nice.
and
I think
I'm very
I got
happy
rid of
with
all
that.
the issues.
Yeah, but those are good too. Oh, those are amazing. Yeah, guys, you guys should check out Marvel comics that Jeff Parker wrote during the early 2000s, the aughts. I think
Yeah,
that's what it was.
those are like mid 2000. Right?
Well, no, it was when we were a store, so like 2011 or something like that.
This stuff, like those Thunderbolts was definitely from 2011, and probably the Hulk stuff too. Yeah, it was around the same time.
Wow, so that's when we were open as a store. Oh, whew. I'm looking back at all the comics that were coming out when we first opened, and it's sad. Well, yeah. All right, Kaiju Max, everybody. I love Kaiju Max. I read about the first 1.5 series.
Okay.
So all
I
of
just reread everything that I had read before, and then read the rest of the stuff that I hadn't read. Up to whatever the last issue that I got. It's still on my pull list right as we speak.
5? This is the best
we're on season 5
book coming out.
I mean, we're on season 5.
Yeah.
It's been really good from the beginning. It hasn't really flagged. Like I season 4, I felt like I could have done another season right after season 4 that followed up immediately on season 4 instead of going back to stuff from season 3 to follow up. But whatever. It's really great. It's amazing to me how it can toe the line between. Okay, all right. So the premise is, as you might be able to tell from this cover, giant monsters going to prison. They get locked up. There's like a human police force.
They're like
that
Ultron.
Are basically like Ultraman. Yeah, they're like Ultraman.
Or Ultraman, I mean.
They start off human size and they like hit a thing on their chest and then they grow to giant size and look like, like this guy in the upper left-hand corner in the pink.
Oh yeah, just like
outline.
That guy. Yeah.
And then so there's a team of police that arrest monsters, and then there's the team of superpowered giant guards that keep them in this prison, Kaiju Max. It's an island prison, and it basically it's like Oz in that it really goes into life in the prison, the different gangs and how they interact with one another, and the guards, the pressures that are on the guards. Like it's a legitimately, it's really weirdly sincere critique of the carceral system, and
but with monsters.
But with monsters, and like so
it's
you
like
have the
Oz,
different gangs. So
really?
like there's like it is like Oz.
But with a little bit more humor. I mean, just a tad boring.
Oh yes, I never watched Oz, so I don't know. But it definitely it's definitely funny and goofy, and there's a lot of comedy in it, and there's a lot of monster action also. But it also manages to like walk that tightrope between like saying something serious, but within the context of this genre. And so you have the different prison gangs, like, you have the Japanese kaiju. You can see over here on the left, you got a like giant Sasquatch. They represent like the cryptid gang. There's like secret monsters. There's all these different gangs. There's like a robot gang, giant robots. This guy way back in the back there.
And then there's some of the human guards are on the take also. And
everyone. Oh yeah, there's
someone's
tons
got
of
gambling, dues.
Sure, people are trying to smuggle drugs into the prison because all of the inmates are trying to get, whether they live off they're trying to get high on smog or they're trying to get high on nuclear waste, whatever it is. But yeah, it's really, really great.
Kaiju Max is in trade. There are also hardcover collections that are like $50, but you get a lot more and it's bigger. So I actually enjoy this quite a bit. There are hard-hitting elements like you would expect in a prison story that can be, it can it can be triggering.
It's pretty heavy. It is pretty
this guy
heavy
on the
at
right
times.
here is like, I don't know what sex, but he has children.
Electro gore? That's electro gore.
Yeah, electro gore. And these are like little eggs that drop off that what's the deal with them? People are getting high on them or something?
Yeah, they are uranium pellets because he produces them to feed to his children.
Who are not with him in prison, obviously, and are out there fending for themselves. And you know what monsters do when they fend for themselves, and so like that's an aspect of the story that's going on. Plus Electrogore has to deal with like just living in prison life and dealing with the fact that there's all these gangs. And I love how the monsters talk in different languages or they speak English differently. Mm-hmm. And like some are like more eloquent than others. Some are
when they're speaking in all caps, they're speaking like the monster language, right? Mm-hmm. But when you can see when they try to speak like in the mixed case, like lower, regular human speech, it's really broken English. Mm-hmm. So you can tell that that's when they're trying to speak English or whatever the human speech is that these humans are speaking. But whenever the humans are sized up to huge, they're speaking in all caps. And the monsters are usually speaking in all caps. So they're speaking the same language. But then when one or the other is trying to speak, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. And now, I don't know how long it could go. It's up to season 5 already. And like season 4 was the first season that we went away from. Well, I mean, we've been outside the prison before, but in season 4, they went to the women's prison.
Oh, I didn't know
which is
that.
like the next island over. And it's like very different. It's a whole different administration.
Wow. That's cool.
Is very cool. Very cool. And I kind of was like, when season 5 went back to the main prison, I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. I could have done another season in there. But there's a lot. So that shows me that there's still a lot of ground. He's got ideas. This is definitely Xander Cannon's
this is his thing.
This is his magnum opus for sure.
Nice.
And it's great. I can't wait. Once it's all said and done, I can't wait to have an omnibus of it or a couple of big hardcovers or something.
Yeah, they have like I said, a thicker hardcover edition that Oni puts out. If you've seen the Rick and Morty ones, they're a lot like that in shape.
Is that 2 trades or 3 trades?
I think it's 3. So they would have to do at least another series to get a sizable companion piece to that. So I would assume if comic books ever are published again. We were talking, just to go back to that for just a second. We were talking about when comics are going to be shipped through DCBS and Midtown.
Right.
There are the concept is it's going to happen at the end of this month. So if you live in a state or a city where they're selling comic books, you may have comic books in the future soon. Of course,
Yeah,
that's
but
pissing a lot
who
of people off.
is?
Yeah.
Who is living in that's what I like. When I saw that announcement, I was like, they were like, we're going to be putting the hands in. So, but like, I guess some states are still allowed to do curbside and delivery.
If you can go to the beaches.
Guess some of those stores still have enough money to buy comics.
Sure. I mean, it's a new account. Do you give me terms? All of that hasn't been answered, I don't think yet.
But they're already going to start when?
The end of the month.
Hmm.
And DC or Diamond is saying at the middle or end of next month. Wait, it's so hard to remember how it's going. Yeah, the middle or end of next month, they're going to start shipping again. But
middle or end of May.
Yeah. Yes. So, we're supposed to open up in the middle of May unless something pushes us back. If they start shipping, they'll start shipping probably weekly the comics that have built up. There's going to be some comics that aren't going to come out for a while, and then some that are because the companies had the people still work on them. Expect, believe it or not, a G.I. Joe Snake Eyes by Rob Liefeld. He said he's been commissioned, he's still been working on them, and that was supposed to come out later in the year anyway, so this is right around the same time. As long as publishing, as long as the printers are still doing their thing, if they are. So, there's a very good chance that we will have a few comics coming out. The problem is that, a few comics coming out over the course of months be good enough for stores that have rent to pay?
Yeah,
that don't have the fish deal we have.
Right. You have now. Right. If this was like all right. ATN, are you around?
Yeah.
He's not around.
All right. Because I need to take a little siesta.
Siesta? All right, here, let me
1 second.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going. You better
double.
All right, let me put some stuff up so that people can. I'm gonna put up. Oh no! Wait, we should put up Yule's engagements. I haven't done that for a while.
You're getting married finally! Oh my god!
I am going to be going on live on a YouTube channel called Critical Blast. This is my second time on that channel. We are going to talk about comics still not coming out and a lot of what we talked about today, but in more depth, so it would bore more of you. It's not just the fun stuff that we've been talking about. It's just a little bit more of the other stuff. But that actually gets a lot of, anger and hostility, or at least worry, so it makes a good conversation. Because, this whole thing about comic books being distributed by comic book stores and other people that have been working and doing, it's like, all right, hey, everybody, your comic book store is now going through a company that you could easily just be going through also. That's kind of like an element of that I see. It's kind of like when some people were suggesting put things out digitally and then we can go back to print later on. And the only thing I think is that if you say, hey, go over here, you're only...
No one's going to come back.
Well, yeah, because...
that's a risk.
I don't want digital, but you would lose people for sure.
Yeah, you would lose some people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of not representing all aspects of that right now because, people want to read comics right now. but there's not enough of them to pay for the production of a comic book that doesn't come out physically that stores can sell all across America. It costs about like $30,000 or $40,000 to, pay the writer, pay the artist every page. Pay. I mean, even if you're only paying the artist $100 a page.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Could you answer your cousin, please?
No, I didn't see that. Sorry.
It's I'm interrupting.
Yeah, that will be live at 5:00.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so blah blah blah. That's the kind of stuff we'll talk about. Let's see, what else do we have?
I love Stephen Root.
Is that
He's the man. That's my stapler. That's my stapler. From Office Space.
Yeah, Office Space.
And from News Radio.
News Radio. Yeah.
Such a good show.
Highly underrated. When are we going to have the nostalgic 90s love for News Radio that everyone's like nutting over Friends constantly?
Oh, watch out.
Oh, we're rewatching Friends. Friends fucking sucks. It's always sucked.
I don't know if it
News
always
Radio
sucks,
rules.
but-
News Radio is
The
very
episode
good.
where they eat the Chinese gum.
Oh, is
and
that
they
called the
they
one
trip
where they eat
balls?
the Chinese gum?
Yeah.
Is that the title of it? Probably.
Is that what it's
Right.
called, really?
I would
Don't
imagine
think
so.
either
That's
one
what
of
they're
them.
all titled, like the
one
one
where-
where the thing happens in the plot of this episode. I have
Nice.
less than zero respect for Friends.
It was a tamer chuckle in the day when you could be getting less tame chuckles, for sure. But it's all right. It's just all
The
right.
fact is, I never actually watched it. I was just too cool for it.
It had its moments. Joey was pretty funny, but
You love Chandler
What?
too. You know it.
What?
no, Chandler was
Stop
You're a
it.
Joey and
No.
Chandler fan.
Yes,
You're
Joey's pretty
insane.
he's Italian. I can't not love the guy. I mean, he's just like a ding dong. Hello,
He sure is.
I love
Just
ding
like
dongs.
in the-
I love them. Yeah, that's a clip for you, Yule.
Hmm?
You don't even get it. I
I
don't
didn't say
know.
anything. Hey, look
Yeah,
at
it's
these
fine.
podcasts or shows on YouTube that I think are good, or channels that you can check. Oh, by the way, Noah Van Sciver has a channel now, and he's doing his
Who?
own voice. You know the guy that did
I do.
Noah, fucking thank you.
He did a his.
He's a
one of his-
Nazi lover. He
one
loves
of his-
Nazis.
No, Noah.
Oh,
Van Sciver.
Noah Van Sciver. Sorry, I love him. He's great. We love
You make
Noah.
me say that. You make me say that. You make me. Anyhow, he was talking about his Abraham Lincoln comic book that he did,
Mm.
and some of his other stuff on a video that Anyway, you should check that out. Noah, like the guy that built the boat, Van Sciver.
That's right. We love him.
Wait, who
That's
built a
right.
boat?
You the boat. You know the boat.
Oh, the Ark
Yeah, the boat.
of the Covenant.
I got Noah love
Yeah,
for
I got you. I remember
Ethan.
this.
What is his
Yeah,
name?
yeah. Noah gathered a bunch of animals and he killed them and shoved them into this box. And then they carried it on their shoulders on top of a mountain. And they told Moses to kill firstborn sons or something, like let the blood flow. And like that's the beginning of the religion.
This is like a mashup.
We're gonna have.
They say
a,
Avengers was the greatest crossover, but that
I'm well versed in bullshittery.
Holy cow!
Raised in it, in fact.
We're gonna have an all religious episode. It's like I was
What
blowing
if
up
there was-
last week.
Yo, the Bible verse
Dude.
movies. The
Let's
Bible
just name
verse
every
series
Hindu
of
god.
movies.
Come
I'm
on.
just gonna release a series of movies. Adam. Sequel. Eve. Yeah.
Sequel
and then
Eve, sequel Cain, sequel Abel, sequel Out of the Garden.
yeah, those
Yeah,
will be
Ethan.
further down the line after we're building out the line. First you gotta get, we'll
Answer
bring
that question.
Adam and Eve
What
back.
question? Yeah, I'm Italian. Sorta.
What-
I don't
what
really
makes you
count
it?
actually because I've only been to Italy and I'm only half. So
You're
they
Italian
don't want,
American.
they don't want anything to do with me. But I am a
technically
citizen.
Italian Texan, not even Italian American.
I know it's a mess, man. But I am a citizen. I just have to prove
Of?
it. Oh yeah, of Italy.
Of Italy?
Yeah, they have. I can't remember the name of it. It's some sanguine something or other. It means that the citizenship in
Oh,
Italy is
blood.
passed down the male bloodline.
Ireland is they got some real weird citizenship stuff too.
I mean, I think it's great
It's not loose.
personally. It means that if you're my ancestors had left Italy and been like, oh, we have this great idea, we're coming to America, and then they get here and they're like, the Irish are really mean to us. They realize that they made a mistake. Then I can go back. I can just go back.
kicked out of the mafia. Now what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. The Irish are so mean to us. Yes. Now, I don't know. It's
Fuck you
cool.
with a potato.
I want another passport. I think having two would be pretty cool. They'd be like, passport, sir, and I'd be like, which one?
Ooh, I don't even have one anymore.
I don't even have a real ID.
Oh, you should get one of those before the line starts.
I don't care.
Oh yeah,
no, line's already started. And
get one.
you
Ask
can't even go
Fantinium
online
if he
right
has
now.
a real ID. I bet he doesn't.
Just move to another state,
No.
get it, and then move back to California. That'd probably be easier.
All right, everybody, I would like you to take notice of the scrolling bar at the bottom of the screen.
Yes. Did anybody get added between last week and this week?
We have a couple new patrons, but they aren't on the thing because you have to start at the beginning of the month. So they don't technically count.
So you don't count until the beginning of the month, after which, thank you so much.
And then it's counted. Then you boom. And then I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do as far as like the scroll here.
We should do more than figure out what you should do about the scroll. We should figure out what you should do exclusively for your patrons.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Are you rolling dice to make the decision?
Being put into a fund, if you will, right now.
A trust.
A trust. Yeah, it's all within Patreon right now. So if they like do some shady shenanigans, who knows what will happen with it. But if you are interested, if you like the show, if you like any of the videos we've been doing, I have a double Grant Morrison written video that I'm in the process of making.
Wait, he wrote a video for you?
A double.
Yeah, I'm doing a video. I'm
Double
making a video.
Oh.
A
Grant
double
Morrison.
comic review of Grant Morrison comic books because Maximo, who was in chat, asked if I would do All-Star Superman, and I said yes if we got to a certain amount of subscribers.
The whole All-Star Superman?
No, I was going to do an issue of it, just kind of. But the problem is that I packed my book up at the store in anticipation of the sale that we were going to have. Yep. And I wanted to make sure we had another one of them in case we didn't have enough for the store. And so I packed it up, and I don't have it here at the house anymore.
Oh, no.
So instead, I'm going to do 2 new superhero Grant Morrison comic books. One of them is one of my all-time favorite books that he did. So I'm very excited to do it. But
You're doing this. This is a solo project.
This is a solo. Yeah, one of the videos that I do. I'm not going to bore everybody with what I think about the industry or anything like that. But
you mean in the beginning?
In the beginning, I'm just going to say I was supposed to do All-Star Superman, but I'm going to do these instead.
Oh.
But it's both Grant Morrison, so there you go.
You only have a few days left for 420.
I know. 9
I'm just
days.
saying, if you're going to do it, you got to do it, man. You got to do it fast.
Well, it's not
9 days.
It's just a video. I mean, and not only that, I'm going to be working on a From Hell video.
Yeah,
with a collab. It's a collab I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I don't know that dude.
You don't know From Hell?
No, I'm talking about Jill.
Oh, very good. And,
your collaborator.
There you go. Anyway, you can be one of the people on the scroll down below if you give $1 to our Patreon. And if I release a video early, it will be on that also. But
how come some of the people have their names like with an ampersand, like Maggie ampersand David?
It's like the family, I guess.
But then
Maggie
you have
David
Patrick
together.
L. Is that last and
That's
just
the
because
and. That's
it's
how
the
you.
last
It's like a
one?
comma. The and is a
Yeah.
comma.
Oh, I
You
forgot
hate
that
the
you
way I
hate.
use my ands and commas. That's
No,
proper.
I forget.
It's
I'm
proper.
confused because I forgot that you hate the Oxford comma for some reason.
So you've read Strunk and White then?
Yeah.
I mean, I've
have.
read White for sure. I've read
E.B.
Charlotte's
White?
Web.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
I've
Same
read
guy.
most of Strunk and White, but
Same
not all
guy.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read the better fiction.
I've
of
read
Strunk
all
and White.
I've read all of Charlotte's Web. Part of
It's
Strunk
real
and White.
short and it's very informative. So if you like English, it's pretty interesting.
God damn! I took the literary banner off.
Oh man!
I actually have a book of E.B. White essays that I have been meaning to.
Are they
read.
for adults or are they for
adults?
Is essays for children? Do people write essays for children? What am I thinking?
I don't know. Children write essays for adults. That's called school.
Yeah, yeah. And they're also very good.
Yes. Yeah.
F. Terrible.
To pay respects.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you to our patrons on Patreon.
And
we
to the
really
people who
appreciate
are
it.
here.
We are going to do something for them. I guarantee it. We're working on it. It's all being taken care of, but everything's very slow because of I want to make sure that I have to get a bunch of parties together.
Oh,
to
no
make it
parties.
happen, and that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
No,
I mean, we can do it like this. It doesn't have to be on air,
Lockdown.
but it's a lot of moving pieces. Plus, the store needs to change locations. So when that finally happens, and I'm settled in, we're gonna make it happen, and it's gonna pay off for everybody in the very smallest way. I guarantee that. The very smallest way. But
salesman too.
I don't want to. No, it's not.
You don't want to build too high so that you fall too far. Is that what it is?
That's right. I don't want to. It's just a sticker. Don't worry.
It's a
about
tease.
It.
It's just a tease. Don't worry.
Yeah, it'll be a T-shirt. Something like that. We have an array of things that we're working on, but it's slow going right now. But we appreciate everything that everybody's doing for us, and it is working towards making the store successful in the future, and hopefully the show also. So we really thank everybody that tunes in. If you can tell a friend that might enjoy any one of us knuckleheads, you should let them know that we do this on Tuesday nights. And if you want to follow me, you can check me out on the engagements banner that I had going on earlier. I'll run it again right now. Boom. So yeah,
Catch
Critical
it on
Blast
your
tomorrow.
rewatch, man. You know you're
That's
gonna
right.
rewatch it.
There's a dude called Perch that owned and is going to own a comic book store yet again. And I enjoy his commentary on the business. So being on a panel with him is aces. I'm really excited. And I have before, but it'll be less people than there were that time. And we might have a little bit more conversation. And,
He might
back
notice
and
you.
forth.
You want him to notice you, don't you?
Let me tweet. He's answered me. I've answered him. That's not that way. No, it's funny. I think he
There's a
might
light
be younger than me.
flirtation happening.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think he might be younger than me, but
It's
in
a
some
bro,
ways,
man.
like he's so vocally succinct and positive. It almost makes me think that like he's older than me. But I don't know. I still got the fire in my belly to be a jerk instead, and he's a very calming influence, and I dig his perspective. So if you're down and want to watch YouTube at 5 o'clock tomorrow on the West Coast, check out Critical Blast. I've been on it a couple weeks ago, one time, and they asked me back. So yay, I did
You're
something
like,
good.
all right,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, I'll come back. Like that
Now,
never happens.
What do they pay for that?
They don't pay anything.
What?
I'm just
Because
whoring
me and
myself
ATN,
out.
you're paying me
Yeah, I'm
and
getting
ATN.
racking up the dough.
So
by
that's
doing
fucked
this.
up.
Yeah, it's totally messed up.
Well, maybe like someday we'll be like a really cool, like, last it would be like a comic book version of like some important podcast out there that everybody throws money to.
No.
And then someone's going to be like the evil Twitter person, and then
It doesn't like what we're doing.
Important podcast?
Well,
Is that a thing?
YouTube show? I don't
Like
know.
Serial?
Whatever.
Serial.
Yeah.
That was the last important podcast, as far as I can recall. Oh wait, WTF when Obama was on? That was important.
That was changed
Since
my life.
then, there hasn't been anything important.
There's plenty of important. Well, I mean important. I mean things that people pay attention to. I mean, there's got to be something. Doesn't The Rock do something?
I mean, there was a huge podcast about like private tiger sanctuaries. It made so much of a wave that they made a Netflix documentary about, or whatever documentary about it, that took away all of, like, they never
Exactly.
nothing. Podcast. Who cares? Give me a Netflix special if you're for real.
Well, there's the money. There's a reason we moved away from radio and got
But
television.
I'm just saying, like, it's like two dudes watched or listened to this podcast and they were like, fuck that. You know what we should do is take our money. Like, I am a owner of multiple New York City restaurants and a restaurant group. And so why don't I just take my money and make a documentary film about this thing that I just listened to a podcast about, and then I'll get even richer. And fuck those assholes who made the podcast.
I'll play a video game while I do it too.
Ugh. I don't know if I properly talked last week about how much disdain I had for that tiger documentary, but there are a lot of layers to how gross it is.
Jill
Really?
said, "You won't like it. You will. Don't even bother."
There's nothing to like.
All I see is people talking about Baskin Robbins, and I was like, they're
Why?
making fun of because it led
One
into
of the people's names is Baskin.
Baskin. And
Baskin.
so, like, why is everybody talking about Baskin Robbins?
Man, they make good mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Rocky Road, I like
Their mint
It's
chocolate's
easy.
good.
I got
Good.
homemade
ice cream.
Homemade mint
I'll have
ice
when we're
cream
done.
in my freezer right now. Mint.
What?
The mint was grown right on the other side of this window.
Get out of town. That's
Did you take
amazing.
it? Is it
Yeah.
you took it from someone's mint?
No,
Is
we
this
are
a free barter?
No, we have a garden.
Wow. Well,
we have a
good job,
garden.
man.
We have
How
fresh
is-
mint.
Is it
Oh,
good?
okay, very
Stephanie harvested the fresh mint.
Did she do it with a silver
She made
sickle
the-
on a full moon?
What?
Okay, she did it right. She did
Can't
it.
say. I'm
Sequential
not sure.
Geek, I did. Wait, is it the same Ezra Miller vid that we had like a couple weeks ago?
With the Flash?
Yeah, with the Flash. I thought I did a good job on that.
Oh.
You might want to look at our opening from like 2 weeks ago. And
What
yes,
happened?
if that's the same one, then yes.
What
It was when he
happened?
was like choking that fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Fun.
yeah.
That's good. I like violence. What can I say?
And I had
Violence Savior of the universe.
I had that picture, that meme.
He'll
of,
choke every one of us.
The artist or the Flash from the TV show next to the grave, and it said Ezra Miller when he's like doing this.
Mm.
Yeah, it was all.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's his career. Ezra Miller's career, I guess.
Whatever. They always should have had the dude from the Flash TV show be
Grant
the guy
Gustin,
in the
that's his
movie.
name. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That guy's great.
But I guess
He's
the
a
guy
great
from
Flash.
the movie was in the TV show when they did that Crisis thing. So that's kind
Well, was it just a photograph of him? Because like Michael Keaton was in that also as
of cool.
Batman.
I don't know.
In a picture on the cover of a newspaper, but it was
Yeah.
like Bruce Wayne, like Playboy Bruce Wayne or whatever, and it was a
That
picture
was
of
enough.
Michael Keaton. That's pretty fucking dope. I don't care. I want to see that. I don't care. I got tired of those shows years ago, but I want to see those Crisis apps.
All right, here's my premise. Batman TV show weekly, procedural, but it's all detective based.
I would watch that. I would absolutely watch that.
I mean, he could do physically some things that would get him in danger and then fight his way out. But overall, it's just a detective show.
Can it have a noir theme?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it
I
could be
love
Private Eye.
I love it.
All sorts of stuff.
Trench coat, hat.
Forget it. Yeah,
yes.
it's original Batman where he's got a fucking gun and he shoots.
Well,
people.
Bang, bang.
I'm not that into
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but whatever.
He was like, not that part. I want all of it, but that part.
Well, I mean, I like the grappling gun aspect. The belt that does like some
Sure.
things.
Okay,
but
fine.
the belt could
He
be
just
like the
Sub-Zero
fingerprint
shoots a
shit,
fucking grappling gun through his chest and rips his heart out of his chest with a grappling gun.
I like violence.
Retract the grappling
I like
gun.
it. I
Heart
think it's
comes
great.
out.
Sounds good.
It's a lot less detective all of a
And he's
sudden.
like-
It's more Dirty Harry now.
I don't shoot.
I would watch that show, man. That'd be good. I'd like
Well,
that.
minus the lungs being exploded.
He
Ah,
just
it's for
doesn't-
television, man. You don't get that
His-
stuff on
He
TV.
doesn't use guns that shoot bullets.
Just ice cubes and stuff, right?
That's right. A frozen meat bullet. Yes, that's fine, but no lead.
A frozen meat bullet.
Yeah.
It's a shame they had that Gotham and they didn't do it like Gotham Central that Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka wrote.
Oh my god.
How could you not have done that?
I
mean-
reread those the first two volumes of that recently.
The
Maybe
great
the
ones,
first
yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Even. Yeah. That I was like, this is like a hand delivered 2 seasons of television that are perfect. Like you could almost go write an episode per issue. Like it was so written as a TV series. And Batman appears like once.
Like a tape. He's the mask that goes through the room and the smoke bomb blows up.
Oh, it's
And
like,
it's like he's
it's
out
too good.
and you just saw him for a second and then the villains are unconscious.
It makes no sense that they wouldn't like. It's sitting right there. It's sitting there. It's all the work is already done, and you already fucking own it.
Yeah.
You have to only hire like a fucking someone who can translate it into a script. Like you could get an intern to do that. It's absurd. You could practically just hand the script to the director and let him storyboard and then dialogue.
Yeah, and if it's
just from that, don't even bother with the script.
And if it's a Netflix, it's like half of the show is just like moving from one room to the other anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
not
and you
hard to
really.
write. Oh damn.
Oh yeah, and if it's a Netflix show that has 13 episodes, you really only need to write 7 epissodes and then cut them all in half and make half of the action happen in each of them.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. I think that would be neat. All of that. Fantinium agrees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daredevil is the perfect blueprint for a show like that. Well, no, not perfect because it's got a lot more superhero action than what I'm looking for in a Gotham Central. Like, I want that Gotham Central show to just be basically a regular gritty cop drama, like NYPD Blue.
Yeah, Gotham Central, everybody. That is a great comic book. Pick that up in trade whenever you can. It is
Can you
all about the
imagine?
police force?
Can you
not the
imagine
Batman.
a DC or Marvel comic that has 2 writers on it who are both of that caliber?
Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker.
Even at the time, they were both like.
Yeah, they were pretty big. Well, Brubaker was the one that was being handheld into a monthly role, so to speak.
Right,
a
but
mainstream monthly role.
he had already done even Batman work before that.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same.
No, well, no.
It wasn't the best Batman, and his Gotham Central was like so much better. And then when he goes over to Marvel, he basically does the same thing with Matt Fraction, who then does the same thing with Kieran Gillen. And it's lesser as it's going on, but those are both really competent writers also.
Yeah, and I loved even talking to Fraction and Gillen, like their X-Men stuff was good. Their Thor stuff was also good, like when they were doing Thor and Journey into Mystery. Yeah.
I wish we weren't boring ATN. So I'm going to say good night, everybody. Hit that like button if you can. Tell a friend, subscribe, all that great stuff. I hope you had a good time hanging out with us. We had a great time hanging out with you, if I can speak for you.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
I
night.
won't deny it.